Okay, let's visit the planet Mars or a Mars-like planet. What you see currently is an overlay I created for games, or my idea is to create more and more overlays, maybe at some point offering them on a website or something like that. Anyway, so I'm gonna show you also my recent creations and something interesting, this one here. And this is what I wanna talk about a little bit, and I wanna share the principle of it in not super detailed, but I'm gonna cover it briefly. For the experts, if you wanna check this out here, here is the thing you wanna see maybe right away. I know the overlay is a little bit in the way, but I'm gonna turn it off in a second while I'm talking about the overlays. So this one is when I play games, you know, I get inspired, and sometimes I think about how could I make those kind of things happening. So if you wanna, this one for example is super easy. This one here with the face appearing, here's my Let's Play logo face appearing. It's more, well, this was more tweaking, much more tweaking. Yeah, this was a happy accident. This is also rotating endlessly with some bubbles. And I couldn't make it just like that. This just happened, and then I'm luckily saving this project, right? So I can always look it up again and recreate the bubble effect. Not the thing itself is difficult to make. The difficult part is always when you have like endless rotation animation that they repeat themselves without any stutter in between repetition. You know what I mean? So they have to have a smooth transition when they repeat themselves. You should not be able to tell that this is just starting from the beginning again. That's the difficult part. And that's difficult. This was actually a nice method when I saw that the bubbles, you know, just happily, you know, the starting position is the same as the ending position is also the same. That is what makes it interesting. But anyway, just showing you this. If there is any interest, you can let me know. I consider maybe making a tutorial on that or covering it briefly. I mean, it's not always necessary to make a full tutorial. Let me also know about that. How you know, what exactly you want to know. Anyway, yeah, let's go over this. So I was playing Doom 2016 right now, like today, and while I have some time because I have to wait for the doctor's call, and I have to do something between because it drives me nuts. So I played Doom, and then I thought, hey, how can I make Doom environment? And then I thought, hey, what about this displacement method? This is the second time I checked out the displacement method combined with more understanding of shader. And I want to point it out, there is a similar video which blew me away years ago on YouTube. When you, I don't know, check out displacement YouTube, you probably have seen it anyways. That's a really, somebody even wrote next level shit. I think that's accurate. This one here is much easier, much straightforward, and can be modified to add more and more and more. You can add more layers. You know, if you understand the principle, you can add more layers to the thing. But I don't want to do this today. I just want to show that simple thing, and that's already cool. I think, you know. For example, I can show you when I put this here aside. And also, I don't really understand it very well. I gotta tell you this. This is the second reason why I couldn't make a tutorial. For that, I need to understand what I'm doing exactly, or let's say 90%. What I mean by that is there was a weird glitch. The displacement when I used it, there was something. It wasn't connecting itself, and somehow adding the bump and taking it out again fix that. I don't know if this is a glitch or if I just don't understand what is happening. Anyway, we're gonna do this from scratch again, so you can maybe, yeah. So I'm using the material here. So right now you cannot see shit because I also based it on the position. So when I bring it up a bit, it should at some point change, but it doesn't. Maybe I have to do that. Okay, now it works. So I have to bring it up and it doesn't work. Okay, maybe this is not, let me check. It's object based. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, makes sense. I was thinking from other materials I usually use position. That would work actually to be honest. Let's just do that quickly without destroying the other one before I explain how. So I'm gonna use the geometry node, not Germany node, geometry node. That would be good. A German node. that would be great. Good duck. It's always the Hitler stuff, right? Anyway, okay, positioning here, Bup, and that should actually work. This is the it calculates a bit. Okay, phone check. Yeah. So now it's position based, and I can just bring it up. Yeah, that might be helpful in this case. This really depends. So either you want to have a method where this is object based or position based. I think positioning is something we should also cover. This is cool. Yeah, I start with the positioning. I think it's just cooler. Okay. Anyway, so now we can do that. You see there's a nice transition going here up, and we have already some structure, and we don't maybe use a need. Yeah, we should. Yeah. Subdivision helps with the transition, but in theory we wouldn't maybe need that. Let me experiment with that a bit. Again, this method, like in this way, it's the first time I also have it like in an interesting way, which I think maybe that, just to put it in a different way. It's my first time. So anyway, okay. Bam, bam, bam. Okay, how do I do that? Because I also needed to look this up to make it, when I talk and do things, I know. I will just make a screenshot of that and I can use it as such. I'm gonna screenshot this part here. Bam. Yeah. Again, this is also a little bit of a Hangout format. This is not a. I hope I made this clear at the beginning. So, yeah, now I need to have my screenshot folder file. Picture, screenshots, and today is what, yeah, it's almost 10. Okay. Yeah, I would say we start a fresh environment so that it's much easier for you to understand. So I'm saying new general. I don't have any add-ons installed. The reason for that is also, this is pretty blurry, the screenshot. But we're gonna be okay. So no, everything is fresh basically, but I adjusted my Blender environment a little bit to my eye problem. So I have eye floaters since over a year, and it drives me nuts. Takes away motivation, and I tell you this in case you suffer from something. But you see me, still doing stuff, so that's good. Okay, I'm gonna delete the default cube, and then I delete everything which is not needed here. I cleaned this up a little bit. I don't usually need much, many of those riders here, or tabs, or whatever you wanna call them. Okay, so I'm gonna start with a sun. Let's add light. Sun is okay. Putting it aside, something like that. Let's leave it like that. Then we're gonna go ahead and get a mesh plane. That's good. Let's go into edit mode and select the edge. Extrude this into the sky. Pressing T here, going to this menu makes it easier to have a little bit better control over this one here. So that's already enough. I think we did a good job so far. So good. Hey. Now I'm gonna go into this menu here. What is that called? Rendered shading viewport shading rendered. Okay. Yeah, we say new, and then we in the material options. Right. If you don't have this window, you should go into the shading here. Okay. I have to be if you don't miss anything, let me know. If you need a step-by-step tutorial, let me know about those things. You know, I can explain it in much more detail. Although other people will say that's already enough detail. I get that, but I make those videos for people like me, like my younger self, basically. Okay. Good. Now Shift A and go to. We're gonna get texture, like a noise texture. It should be somewhere here. Noise texture. Here we go. And now we say we're gonna look for that here. Shift A. Look for displacement. Here we go. And we can already plug this into here, into the displacement. Let me just make this window here join left. So this one bigger. And yeah. Okay, so far so good. Now next step would be to to change the material. So we go into the material settings here. We click on here's an option displacement. Right now it says bump only. We change this to displacement and bump. And now you see this is a displacement, not a bump. But maybe we need a bump to fix a glitch. We'll see about this in a second. Okay, next step is we need a color ramp. Shift A, we type here in color ramp, and then here adding this guy. The factor, I think I've used the factor, and plug the factor into the scale. My first attempt. See, this is the glitch. I don't know if this is a glitch or if this is a setting problem. We'll see about that. Before I do something, I want to add more stuff. Shift A. Let's type in texture. Texture. Is it texture? I forgot what it was. Let's see. Input texture coordinate. Yeah, no, it's texture coordinate. And then objects. Maybe yeah. There's a chance that I can miswrite that, but in this case, I don't know. I was not sure if this is called texture coordinate. Although I should know in theory because I used it so long. I forget those things. I'm not, you know, I'm using them. I'm a tweaking guy. I tweak everything. Okay, anyway, so this one is done. We need a map. Maybe this will help us later for map. In theory, we would not necessarily need, but everything is right now default. We just leave it at default, but maybe we want to tweak some stuff later on. This is actually the wrong, right? This one here. Shift D, you can duplicate this. No, this one looks good. And now I'm not sure if this is, yeah, I see. So I think, let me see if this is a glitch or not. I can simply prove that by going to Shift A again and using a bump. Looks to me that this is not a glitch. Height, but it still calculates. Again, this is the part which I don't understand fully. This is what I meant. I don't really, this one I don't, yeah, I don't understand fully. So I couldn't make a full tutorial on that, but this is okay, good enough for what we can do the other thing. Okay, so let me just try to figure out what I was. It's very blurry, I can almost not see it. I think it's 3. I used 3 here, and then maybe the mid level is something too like. I see. Okay, let's try this out here. Yeah, I see. Okay, well then we have to tweak this one, I think, until it is what we want. I see. Okay. Yeah. I think let's learn this together. Why not? So let's try to focus on this area first, so that there is no gap in between, and maybe also we don't want to overshoot it. We want to maybe try to find a sweet spot if this works out, but a sweet spot seemed to not work perfectly. I'll go with a value of 3, I guess, seems to be good. And this, let's use 2.5. No. Maybe also 3. I see. Does this help? Okay, well, what exactly is happening, I don't know. But something is happening, so that's good. Let me just, this is just checking if this does anything. This is a weird option. This is a new option. Every time I touch this, my computer is calculating something, so I don't know what it's doing because I'm barely touching it. It doesn't want to be touched, so okay, I respect that. Yeah, I'm gonna take this here off. Yeah, I think we can forget about that bump thing. Okay, let's do the similar thing, like so maybe. Okay, and the method you saw earlier. By the way, even if the geometry structure is wrong, the good idea about this is, even let's say we overshoot this and the geometry goes into itself and so on, wouldn't really matter if you want to use this later for a game, because you would then only just bake this the information, the bump or displacement information onto the object, and then you would have a clean, nice object. You know what I mean? I hope so. So okay. Yeah, that's being done. I'm gonna change the color here a bit. Let's make it more in this, yeah, and this way for now. Okay, so it seems we can maybe use 2.8, and then adjusting here. So it overshoots here a bit. Whatever. Let it overshoot here. We could also make it like so. I see. So we have the structure here a bit already, but I think I had it like that a bit. Okay, good. This is the next step. Then I think, what is the next thing? Wait, phone is doing something. And Netflix. Yeah, okay, so Netflix. What do you think about this? Nothing I think about this. It's all bullshit. Every movie is bullshit, you know. Anyway. Not every movie. The movies I watched when I was young, they are good. That's how it works. That's how nature works. At some point, everything sucks. Only the good stuff. The good stuff is what you know. It doesn't have to be good, but at least you know what is going on a bit. Anyway, so let's add another color ramp. Here we go. And this one we plug in here. This would be for later, but we can already use it a bit so to make this give this a little bit of a structure. So I'm gonna this is where you can be artistic, you know. You can just do whatever you think is the right thing. Let me also turn this setting here on. Also have a new GPU, so if you struggle with that, you don't necessarily need that. Actually, I don't think there's a benefit right now of using this one. So we're gonna just do that. Oh, we'll keep it off. Let's keep it off in case you don't have this option. Since a few days I have a new GPU. Okay, here we go. Brighter. Adding another one with the plus. You can add more. By the way, you can also drag this guy more. In case you didn't know that, you can drag it. And you can make stuff even wider than it is. You can make it super white or super dark. I don't think so, but super white. You can overshoot this value. When you click on this guy, we have right now this one here. See, when I click on this one, it's gray. When I click on this one, it's this. And now we're gonna click on this guy, and then you see here alpha, which also is helpful. Value, a different kind of. If you wanna go for real colors, you could just turn off everything you don't wanna. But you can overshoot. You can say a value of 5, and then it's, you know, stronger. You see, in these areas it's stronger. So this one is super white. Looks like a little bit of a snow. This could be a mountain, right? In this regard, maybe let's do a mountain. Why not? While it's offering itself to mountain-like structure. Let me save in between. I'm gonna save this. It gets the nice name too. So that's good. Yeah, okay, let's leave it like that. Let's make it smaller again or shorter. Okay, this is being done. Let's limit the, let's make it more interesting. I'm gonna go into the edit mode again, make it bigger, extrude it again to this position. Then I realize, okay, it doesn't work in this way. We have to adjust this one here a bit. See, this is a little bit tricky here. Let's leave it like that. Let's see if this, I'm just checking something. This is not a problem. I see. Okay, well, we really have to tweak to find a sweet spot. So maybe a good approach is to first really try to find, to cover all the, well, let me just check. Yeah, let's find a sweet spot for this one here so that this one for sure works. I mean, we could use the subdivision as well, but the idea is to not necessarily need that, but I think at some point it might be easier, right? Let's go back to 3. Okay, whatever. It's not a problem. We get to the, with tweaking we get everywhere. I think we could eventually, that's if there is a God, which I think it's likely that there is something out there, or that's our soul out there. Probably it created the world by tweaking it. I could imagine. So let's try to add some subdivision. I usually just, you know, a quick way to add subdivision is clicking on the object, Control 1, adds with a control, you know, with one thing. So while this is not what I wanted, this is also useful for something else. Now let's tweak the shit here out of it until we get what we want. So what if I say smooth? Does this? Oh, this is the solution. I just leveled up. See, good that I make this video. There's no way I'm gonna remember that for myself. There's no way that I remember this is the reason. Okay, that is a happy accident, like the guy says, right? The guy who already died, the painter. Happy accidents. I think that's what he meant by that. It's just, you know, you do stuff and it just happens and you just, okay, you discovered something. I believe this is most creative stuff is like that. Yeah, I mean, it is the nature of creation, that you don't know what you do. You choose. You know, when you I think painters, when they create something, they make a decision. When they start to see something and they like this, they say, okay, I go with that. Now the painting changes. Now I go with that, and so on. But if you're really good at painting, you can, when you've done that often enough, you can draw exactly what you've drawn before already. That is, I think that's how it works. But I'm not so sure, because there are some people, they are really gifted in terms of, you know. So wait a second, Chinatsu. I gotta stop the recording or pause it. Dobra, machen wir weiter. Okay, so smooth was the thing which yeah, that's good that I've actually figured that out accidentally. Okay, now we're gonna limit the positioning, and this time I'm gonna use, you know what, the side note, when we go to the view, oh no, it's already set up. So I like, you know, this is basically a game. So when you go to the viewport, the same thing counts for, I have to set this up for both camera and viewport separately. But this is, I like to change this to 30. This is more like a game now, you know, just the FOV, this one here, it's like the FOV. And I like to set this to 30. Okay, so let's go to, yeah, we're just gonna add something. Shift A, we're gonna add the geometry node, and here we have positioning. This will really be helpful. Next thing is add mix color. Mix color is here, and now I have to check the other thing again. Where did I plug it into here before the color? Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, this one over here. You only have to pay attention what is really plugged in. Other things do not matter so much. I'm gonna change this to black. So all I did basically, this is the color ramp, it's still mixed color, and the one thing goes to EB is still black. And now this one, I'm gonna add the factor in, so we need another color ramp. Shift A, color ramp. No, this isn't color ramp. Shift E, color ramp, like so. And then this goes to position, this goes to factor. This will not work right now, but I'm curious what it's doing. And yeah, this one has to be plugged into here. Well, in theory, it's already useful. We don't need to make it over complicated. We wouldn't need it to but at the same time, we don't really have a good control over that. But it's interesting to see that this already works as well, at least to me. So we could just fix it, maybe just with a map. I'm gonna duplicate this map, or let's just use a new one. Shift A, look for mapping, and then this is the mapping. Plug it in, and now we could control the either that. So you could go with this approach as well. This would already, if you like that, you could use that. You could put this to B-spline. B-spline just, it's even a smoother transition. That's how I understand this one. It's just you can stretch this smoother and longer and so on. Anyway, so this is interesting, but this is not what I want to use. But it's good to know that it just works like this. So, okay, let's use instead of Shift A, and let's type in separate. And this one we're gonna plug in. Now we can choose the direction. So how we separated it at the x-axis. When I change now this one here, you see, we can control where this is going in a simple way. And we set this to Z. So basically, you know, this is basically X and Y, left and right, back and forth. You can see it like a game. Z is up and down, usually is up and down. Sometimes the orientation shifts, but in this particular thing, it's fine. So we control basically with this method, we control when this thing here is appearing and when not. And because it's set to position, if I go to the item, click on the item, and I change the position, you'll see this one is affected in both ways. If you don't want that, then you have to use really, in this case, texture coordinate would be better, and you have to make a decision what you want to use. You could use geometry, which would probably work the same right now, but only the difference is when I use the geometry right now, it doesn't affect the object. It doesn't matter where the object itself is in the world environment, world positioning. You could use object as well, and this is calculating the object in a different way. I don't know how to describe that right now. But yeah, I would usually go with generated, because sometimes the object is especially when it's weird. It really follows the object itself, while this one here is just, I think it's following, I don't know. I don't know, but it's basically like whatever. It's just generating it with ignoring the object. That's how I understand it. But I'm gonna use position because I like it. Today I like it. So because then I can really do stuff like this. Okay. Now let's add more details to the thing. This is already pretty good. We could simplify this one. Then we have a simple cube, or we could now get rid of that thing. We don't necessarily need that. We could really keep it simple and then just extruding things along those axes. And now we have stuff like this, right? Make it more interesting by dragging this out here, like so. Maybe closing this one here, but you gotta be careful, this has to disappear. Yeah, let's just do that. And what structure you create, it doesn't really matter. You have to be happy with that, By the way, so right now I want to show you something. This one here, if you want those points aligning with this point on the z-axis, so that the up and down is the same, so they're on the same height level. You should go into this active element thing. Now select with edge select mode the whole edge, and then go to vertex select, shift hold down, and this one needs to be selected, last one. The last selected one is always the highlighted one. And now press S and then Z, and then on the numpad O. If you don't have a numpad, just press the O key and return or enter. And now they are on the same level. And we can just close that in. So, I mean, you don't want to have, that's what they say, they don't like that. Let's say we want to put them back together in the same method we can use, selecting this edge. When I go quickly through this with 1, 2, 3, you know, phase selection mode is 3, 2 is edge selection, 1 is vertex, so 2, and then when I selected the whole edge, 1, and then this one secondly, in this case S, and then Y, or I think it's Y, yeah, and then closing it, and now we have to merge them. So edit mode, press A, select everything, M, left click on this, merge by distance. Now it says here one vertex is removed, and now we merge the object, but something is off, you can tell. If this is the case, something happened here by the face orientation. When you turn it on, a face has always a positive and a negative side. In this case it's a mix, so you want to make sure that all the sides are, you know, in order that an object looks proper, all the sides have to decide what they want to be, positive or negative. I'm just saying it like that. It could also be white and black, or, you know, I don't know, yin and yang, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't really matter. Whatever you prefer, good and bad. You know, you just select, go into edit mode, select everything, Alt N, and then say recalculate outside. Now it's fixed. Alt N in the edit mode, when you select all the faces, that's important, select all the faces, Alt N, and then check out the other options, play around with those things. Okay, now we have this one, and we can now limit when this is appearing, when it's disappearing. I'm gonna do it like so. We can also limit it like here. See, it's a nice smooth transition. I'm gonna delete this one, and then I'm gonna select those and make it longer, like so maybe. Okay, now let's turn this on. It helps a bit with this placement. It really helps. The more accurate, the more geometry is on this method, the better it's gonna look. That's really yeah, it's annoying a bit, because you think, oh, so much material. But again, keep in mind, eventually we can turn this here off, having this one here, and this would be the low version, the low poly version of your high poly version. The high poly version would be this one, and now even higher. And then you would just bake the information on the low poly, and you have a great performance. That's in theory my idea. I think that makes sense. So I'm gonna extrude this here again, and now we play around with shadow and light a bit. Let's see what can we do. Also I like to, let's make it more, I don't know, like so. And I'm gonna add another, I don't want to overcomplicate it, sorry. Forget about what I just did. How do I, yeah, let's get rid. So, okay, everything is back to default. Except the sun is, we're gonna use the sun a bit. Let's see what we can do to get some nice shadows. It doesn't look satisfying still, but we need some shadows also. Shadows play a huge role with those kind of things. Okay, yeah, let's maybe add some, did I plug in anything into it? No. Yeah. Okay, this is the principle. That's how I would go over that. The fun thing is you can really add, when you understand that you can add layer on, you can add multiple layers. You can say at some point, or you can isolate certain black spots and fill the black spots in with a water texture. All those things are in theory doable. I've done that with some other things. Just keep in mind, also myself, because keep in mind that the important thing here is, it actually looks better in here, you know, but it's too wide for my eyes, right? Smooth, it has to be a smooth thing. Let's keep it simple still. I like the first version, I like the best. This looks like a mountain almost. And let me check. Yeah, okay. Luckily this is also already the right one. So this could be, for example, the green stuff, right? So luckily in this setup, as we created it, left side is the ground. That's good. That's not always the case, and you can also use math nodes if you prefer them. In theory, I also say this is more artistic, like it's my approach. Color ramp is always the first thing I choose because it's very simple. But in theory, this is all math. You know, this is all positioning, values are all math as well. So if you are scared of math, you're already using it as an in an artistic way. So there's no need to be scared of that or intimidated by that. It's you're already using it in some capacity. Some capacity. Oh, in some capacity. This was a good English sentence. Ja, Pierdole. No? Kurwa wiem. Yeah. Good. Let's see. Now let's do some. Let's do some other. Let's add some more details in more colors, basically. Maybe a little bit of more grayish or more wider. So because before I overshot that, you know, the value of 5. Now it goes only to this one. This is basically because I'm gonna go back to 1, so a value of 1. I confused Blender with this method, I think. Doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. If you're confused, I would say we're gonna take this off. Shift A, color ramp. We place it in. Plug this one here in. Plug this one here in. And wait for the calculation, and here it is. And now we can set this to B-spline. This helps with the transition because, you know, basically B-spline makes it more smoother. The transition between colors can be good, can be bad, so depending on what you want. Okay, but the tutorial part is, or the showing part is basically over. Now I'm going to go ahead and play around, or maybe should I set up the other scene so that it looks like the other one before? Would you appreciate that? I think so, huh? Maybe. Yeah, it's not actually over. I forgot some other things. I just see that. Okay, what did I use here? Still linear. Let's go back to linear. Doesn't have to be the exact same, but I forgot a crucial thing actually to show you. So basically we add another texture. This time a different one. This is just, you can add whatever you want. In theory, even try to add a little movie clip, just for fun, and let it play. It's awesome. You know what? Fuck it, I do that. I'm gonna show you this quickly because you gotta see that one. You gotta see that one. So let me just add this one here. That I'm gonna do. The reason I'm going to add this as a plane first, it's gonna be easier. When I do it in this way, I can copy the texture. You will see what I do. It's easier in this way. So Shift A, go to image as a plane. No, image as a plane. Here we go. So I'm gonna choose a video which is more clear. Let's see, where am I? Could I use my own overlays? I could use the overlays. Yeah, smiley would be good. Let's use one of my old smileys. No, not old smileys, new smileys. Those are new smileys. Very simple, very straightforward. So this is a very simple smiley animation. So when this is one of my endless rotation animation. I can show you this. This is what I was talking at the beginning. If I cycle this one, it'll rotate continuously, right? In this case, I think it starts weirdly because when this one is ending, you know, let's increase this one. But in theory, it goes on and on and on. I like this guy. I like this guy. Anyway, okay, let's stick to that. I don't want to get too distracted. Okay, I wanted to check to get the inappropriate smiley because it's more funny. Brother likes him. Anyway, so I'm just gonna copy this guy. In this way, when I add Shift A here in the scene, add is as a plane, I can later on just copy that, which has the advantage. It already knows how many frames the thing has. I don't have to think about how many frames this the video clip has. If I add it, if I would just add this as an image and then change it to video clip, that would just take more time. So I'm just gonna paste this in here with the right values. Now let's place this here in between. And now this may not work because it's not, it's here already. It's part of the, you know, let's make this guy, I'm gonna add value. Don't worry, you don't have to memorize that. I'm gonna get rid of this in a second. But you see what is happening here? Let's use this idea because it's funny. It's super funny. I'm gonna place this guy here. In theory, if I put more, you see, he becomes part of this guy here. Huh? Now you tell me this is fun. I know it's not perfect and you really need a lot of geometry, but or maybe combining it with smooth and stuff like this, or maybe here also, you know, you have to have a good product here. Let's change this to B-spline. Maybe this helps a bit to make it smoother. Eventually you don't want to overshoot this, but maybe let's go with 7 for now. Oh, this is still calculating it very well. I'm actually super surprised. Oh, well, let's try 8. What the hell? Still. Phew. Interesting. I didn't expect that. I should have started with that and you were, oh, what is that? What do I need that for? What the hell do I not? I don't know. You figure it out. You can do that, you know. So okay, so while this is fun, let's go back to the standard stuff. Let's not overcomplicate things. We're gonna, but you see the idea, right? And you can, you know, position this guy here. So in theory, you can add, you can make weird, you make your own, go out, you know, and record with your phone. I don't know, trees while you're wandering around. Use this. However, the higher the resolution of the video, the more you know, Blender needs to calculate. So I would say reduce the resolution of your video, make a super SD version of that, and then, you know, play around with those settings. Yeah. So anyway, that's that. Now let me just, you know, get rid of this guy here. Oh, I'm just gonna delete it because it's too confusing. We're gonna add this later to it. I just want to get rid of everything which is confusing. This is also confusing. For beginners, you think you need that, but it's not necessarily. So let's just delete everything we don't need. So this is all we need so far. So again, this is also, we can right click and say make a group. No, I don't like that because people, they like, I don't like it so much. What I like to do is actually say a join in a frame, and then we can rename the frame. We can label it. We can say what can I write, which is easy to write so that you don't see my writing skills. Bam bam bam, level limiter. Here we go. That's good. So this is the level limiter. This means, you know, on the it levels, yeah. And then we could do that also, and then we could say this is structure, but I don't know how to write structure. Neither in the German nor in the English. And that's the good thing about my eyes. I never wanted, I hate reading. It was always hard for me. So now I have a good excuse. I don't have to do that shit anymore. I can also wear sunglasses if I want indoors now. I can, you know, run around like, not Robocop, or the other guy. The other guy. Hans Dampf, no, Terminator. If I want to, nobody can complain. That's a good thing about it. Okay, so let's add the another one. So Shift A, add Voronezh texture into here. That's an interesting texture. I really enjoy that. So I'm gonna just change this already from by the way, sometimes when you only have 2D texture, when this is not applied on a 3D surface, go with 2D because it's better for calculating purposes. Okay, let's just leave it like 3D. We change to smooth. This adds another value, which is smooth here. That's helpful. I just personally like it. It's not needed. You could also use a different texture. Important is that we have we add some different textures to make it more, to break some patterns. Basically, that's what we try to do. Okay, I'm going to add the distance. Yeah, distance in this case. Also play around. Sometimes you want to choose distance, sometimes you want to use color. Positioning I almost never use in this regard. In this way, maybe there's a benefit. In this now I can add here, make some changes, but I think I'm gonna add this here too. Not necessarily needed. But let me check quickly. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, it's always different when I record and think. But I think a tutorial can probably. This is. If I prepare myself, I can do it, but just without preparation, this is not doable for me. Okay, I'm gonna duplicate this guy, and yeah, I'm gonna break this one here in between. So I'm gonna first plug this one here into the factor. Right, I used the factor before. Let's use the factor again. In color would also work. It's just I want to use the things I used before. So this one in here and this one in there. So you understand already. Okay, this is like basically. Let me explain that quickly. So what is happening here? Basically, we have here mixed color. I plug the noise here into A, for example, and when I go completely to the left, it only uses the A part. You know, let's just call that that way. Let's just right click and say join into frame, and this is part E. Okay, for now. Maybe we have to change that later. We can also vice versa. And if I shift it to the right side, it will completely go black. And black usually it's calculated as, I think, as nothing, as binary. I think, you know, one is, you know, it's on, black is white would be on, black would be off, or vice versa. You can change that also. You can change this, but this is basically on and off, basically. So we can, you know, and here in the middle, you know, you see. And there are different methods to mix that in between. The mix just basically means how would you like to mix the factor between those both? In what way do you want to mix that? In what way you want to shift that? I think that's how I understand that. But correct me if I'm wrong. I'm a tweaking guy. It really is true. And there are people who actually know what they are doing. It's a different mind. It's a different mind. And I always say both are needed. Combine somebody like me with somebody like who knows what he is doing, you know, and boom, you get something good. Okay, now we're gonna plug this one here into the factor. That's also funny. You can either you just mix that, or you can say if you choose the factor, then the mesh of this guy will determine where. Maybe I have to show this in a simpler way. Yeah, if I explain it anyways, I mean, you freak out if you know already your stuff. I don't give a shit. Again, this is not about experts. Experts do suck always. They cannot even watch a movie anymore, like an animated movie, without checking it out, right? So, yeah. But you appreciate anyways. Don't get me wrong. But I gotta do what I gotta do. Okay. Here erase. So if I plug this in here to factor, then you see this is how it'll mix it into the factor. You see? This is the reason of the factor. If I just plug this into mix, it would just mix it, you know, depending on how we set up the factor. If you don't understand, you will understand by using it. If you are anything like me, the way you will understand is by simply using it and then tweaking it. So, okay. Anyway, I plug this in, and now we have, in this way, basically, I don't need to connect that necessarily, but it'll maybe help for if I want to have the same size, but it's not needed actually. We can separate that completely. So I'm gonna say, can I do that? Ah, no, it's doing that. Yeah, that's a disadvantage of having a rim. You cannot just copy those values. This is also annoying. Or can I maybe just do that? Yeah. Ah, yeah. Shift, no, Control C, copy would work, but not duplicating it. I see. So Control V. Okay, here we go. Plug this in, and this is basically the factor. Let's right-click, join frame, factor. Yeah, you cannot complain. I do not know. I don't speak your language, sir. Yeah. Don't get offended. You know, I think it's funny. Making voices is funny. Anyway, so then yeah, so we can basically, this is basically on and off, right? And now we can add more and more textures to it until we are happy. More and more and more and more. And we can also add here color ramps in between if you want to do that, you know, to get even more details. This is optional. This is not needed necessarily. It's calculating, but this will give you another little limitation, a little thing to tweak, you know, to make it different. The color doesn't play a role in here. The color itself, you can change the color. It'll change the structure because every color changes the value of it, meaning it changes the transition between on and off. But it will not change the color itself. The color itself will be changed over here in the end, basically. But it gives you another, you know, way. So, but now we want to have. I think this is also good. Blender did a good job with changing the negative and positive sides. Before it was blue and red, and I think it makes sense that there's only one. Yeah, this one. Go over here and say face orientation. Turn it off if you don't like it. Okay, checking my phone again. Here we go, nothing, you know, I think I'm gonna call them again if they don't call me back. Yeah, for my eyes, I have an appointment at the hospital. Nothing serious, they're just gonna do a long-term check, eye pressure. But I need a special kind of, of paper, so that I can get to the appointment. Anyway, not that it matters for you, it matters for me. Okay, and this is the U in YouTube. That's a little bit about, you know, about me. That's the thing. Why is this so weird behaving? Ah, this is doesn't look too bad actually. Probably the sun. Let me change the sun. Yeah. I think I know why this is happening. Let's just get rid of this one here. Oh, let's just leave it. It has to do eventually with those settings here a little bit also, or those settings here. Yeah. Well, turn it on again. Yeah, make it. I'm gonna use a higher value this time. 4 should be doable on any PC. Okay, let's use 3. Should be doable on any, even on a laptop. So I want to make it so that you can do that too. Okay, that's good. But now let's do the limiter again. let's go over here and let's limit it like so. Okay, no, this is too depressing, so we're gonna change the, luckily in this setup, again, this is left side, in this case is this one. It's not always the case, again, depends on how you get started. A little bit up. Now it starts to, now it's weird, right? At least that's how I see that. So at first you think, and then you think, oh. It's so funny. Yeah. Okay. So when I'm making some space, so we have here, this is a limiter, this is A and B so far, and you can go on with that. You can go on and on and on and add more, and later on you can even add different shaders which cancel each other out and then allow for creating like C's and stuff like this. Again, this it's limitless. It's really limitless. At some point, performance will maybe break. But yeah, it's an interesting method. So let's see. I wanted to do something. I forgot. Yeah. I'm gonna shift another color ramp. Here we go. Here and then here into roughness. And you see now we have some shiny rocks. I wouldn't necessarily recommend to go with a higher value. I think 10 is also acceptable. Yeah. Oh, this looks not too bad. I wouldn't go with super dark. Super dark would means the surface has to reflect completely. So a little bit grayish maybe. Yeah. So it's not super shiny. It's not that we are not imagine a mountain like a diamond. Oh, shine bright like a diamond. Girlfriend said, "It's not shining. It's not the point." It's a good song. It's a good song. It's also my thing. Yeah, play around with those settings too. Just plug it in, see what happens. Plug those things in. Let's see. Interesting. Not useful. Okay, let's add Shift A, add invert color. Let's plug this in between here, like so. Let's see if we can do something with that. Oh, in this case, nothing good for anything, but let's plug it in here. Not too bad, I would say. Not too bad. Yeah. Now it's really fun. So now it starts to is fun. In between, it's no fun at all. Just weird. But you see, and yeah, that's the thing I actually don't know. But my theory was that you can actually make a high resolution object. And then baking the information. I don't want to bake those information right now in because it's too much work for that. I had in the Humble bundle, I got the Bake Master. I don't about Humble bundles. While they are cool for testing out things, I'm not such a fan for Blender because you get a lot of bundles, and usually those add-ons where sometimes you can get bundles for add-ons for Blender. You're stuck with the version you have, which is fine because they're cheap and you can always use all the Blender versions. But eventually, realistically, you move on. You don't stuck with all the old stuff. You just move on. So probably if you find a good add-on, I think it's probably better to buy an add-on what you read at the current stage, instead of getting a bunch of add-ons which you're never gonna look at them because you don't, it's too much of testing, right? But I'm not saying don't buy a Humble bundle. No, of course, go ahead, buy them. But keep in mind that check it out. Check out about the versions, and yeah. Now I think Humble bundle, of course, it's good because you also you can support other things as well. I once in a while I leave €1 or something like that. It's always around this amount of money. It's not more than that. I don't have so much money, and I save it. But even little things, pile up. So And yeah, about Blender, I want to say that too. Should be also, I should donate maybe about €5 soon. I haven't done that. I'm also guilty of that. I think I should do that because I really love that. The thing is, they should maybe, I wouldn't mind if Blender says, hey, if you want to have access, I know this contributes, so they shouldn't overshoot that. Say every new Blender version is coming out for free, no matter what. But if you want to have a pre-access, fast access to the new Blender version, like 1 month earlier, you have to spend maybe €2 or $2. I think that would be just helping them, and no one can get upset. This is for free anyways. I mean, who can get upset about that? This is their thing. I think, you know, so, and that would help them, and I don't have to think about, because the thing is, I don't know how they are doing. I have no idea. I'm not bothered by looking it up. If they say, hey, this is helping us, you know, every time you buy you get a new version, that I think makes sense to me. Then I can say, okay, they struggle with that. Okay, sure, have here a €1 too, or offer some add-ons on their own website, which they probably do. I haven't checked this out. Anyway, okay, so, but who is listening to me anyways, you know? That's the sad thing. Although it's not really sad, I mean, that's what people do. Oh, eventually no one is listening to anybody. Everybody's just, yeah, come on. It's the humans. Whatever. Yeah. Huh? And now we can make this guy here. Let's turn this off for a second. So let's let me just do this one here. And this menu, so we can fixing our mess here a bit. And you know what? Let's just make a new thing. Oh no, I don't want to confuse it too much. No, it's fine. So we have a material here already, right? This is our material we created. What are we gonna call that? Stone. Is this how? Storne? It's gonna be Storne. It is Storne. That's it. Okay, Storne. We have a Storne material. We can delete this guy now, because the material is still saved in the Blender file. You don't have to do that, but it's an option. And now we have here, hey, don't look like that. Look at you, beautiful face. Yeah. Okay, mesh, get the plane, and then we can just choose here Storne, and it's hopefully calculating. No, okay, it's not. Yeah, you know, again, this is we need to adjust the level if you want to. The set level. See. Okay, let's make this guy bigger. Bigger, and resizing it. Let's say 50. When you left mouse click and going down or up, you know, will left mouse click in here, hold your mouse, go down, you know, then let off, don't push the button anymore. No, sorry again. Yeah, sometimes with the left mouse holding, somehow it makes, you can do that, and then type in 100. So we have this. We change the size in the edit mode, so that we don't need to apply anything, but let's do it anyways, just in case. Shift A, apply all transformation. Now we have a proper thing. And in this regard, if I just add now subdivision by pressing Ctrl 1, 2, 3, 4 times, I'm changing it to simple. That subdivides it still, but it keeps the, actually you can see that if I turn this on here, wireframe. And you see absolutely nothing. Sometimes you see stuff when you do that. Turn it on. Okay, whatever. Good. Now we have the Storne. Nothing is changed because the position here, you see, that's how it looks. but I wanna do this would work too. Yeah, we're gonna subdivide that. Okay, imagine this is just a big plane with no modifier. Go into edit mode, right click, subdivide. Let's subdivide this 50 times. No, I want to keep it simple. 25, 10 times. Yeah, looks good. And we could go actually into sculpting almost. Yeah, we could go into sculpting actually. But let's keep it simple. Let's keep it simple. Let's turn on this one here, proportional editing. And this one. And now, while proportional editing is on, jump into edit mode, select one vertex or face, whatever you want to select. I'm gonna go with face, and then make it bigger. Interesting. Oh, that's interesting. How we can do this here too. Maybe we can select the outer rim. In theory, we could use a modifier for that. Let's use that. We can also use a modifier for that, a displacement over. You know what? Let's do that. Let's do that. Again, the method is over. I'm gonna show this one more time so you can check it out and play around with that yourself. Now I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna have fun with it. You can. This is the setup. Very simple. You can replace those color ramp with maths if you want. If you're being more like, I need numbers, like I need round numbers and whatever, you know. Then you're also a German, I guess. Well, not anymore. This is over with Germans being accurate and everything is functional. I mean, look at our train situation. This is over. That's not the Germany, you know. And that's good. Things have to change. Okay. So we're gonna play around with ideas now. I'm gonna add displacement. Yeah. There are two displacements method. Right now we have basically two types. We have a displacement as a modifier, to not be confused, and we have a displacement as a shader, which is also modifying our object. And now I'm going to use a structure maybe again. By the way, same principle. If I go over there and choose a new texture, I can go over here and choose my video again. Let's try this out. So I'm gonna pick the video I had before, a smiley or something. Oh, where's my smoking smiley? This time I'm gonna use the smoking smiley. Where is my inappropriate smiley? It's not even, I don't even have my inappropriate smiley ready. Why? I have another inappropriate smiley. Okay, let's use the other guy, whatever. This guy looks also like on drugs. You can see this one here. Here's the problem. See, I don't know how many frames I have for this one. I think 250 maybe. Is this the standard thing? Auto refresh. See, something is happening. Here. Alpha we don't need. Mapping. We could. What am I doing here? No, that's not overcomplicated. That's too messy. Too messy. Let's keep it simple. Let's use a displacement, and then we're just gonna use a new. Use a blend clouds. Yeah. That is also okay for now. In theory, we could just use a paint and we could draw it ourselves, you know. I've done that also, but never combined with this method here. But I've done similar things where you can just draw it. So clouds, and then this one here. Oh no, this one here. Yeah, but now we definitely need subdivision, otherwise it will not work. On top. And so now we have this one here, and we need more. And yeah, I think in this regard, I would prefer. So the good thing is, you know, what you can do in theory. I'm just telling you that What you could do, you could use Photoshop in GIMP or something and just two-dimensionally draw where the landscape should be appropriated, and then you could use that in here. I've done that already. I thought this has always a potential, but I don't know if it just makes better sense, you know, to be honest. If it just is simpler to just use as, you know, the sculpting method, to be honest. Okay, whatever. Let's go back to the simplified version. So we can do that one here, and when we do that and press, you know, yeah, I think that's simpler. That's also more game related. It makes more sense if you want to do games. But one subdivision, one solidifier, we can maybe try. Solidify here, this guy here, and make it figure only the rim. And then we could limit it to the to the vertices. No, it's always complicated. Okay, let's keep it simple. Let's just do it like that. It's easier. No. Extruding it maybe from the inside, like so. And then subdivision. Ah, this looks interesting. The reason why it looks so weird because we are far away also, and we have to go into, this is a huge thing, you know, I understand this is huge. Yeah, let's experiment with that. See? Yeah, but now it's really, this is really on how do we want to deal with that. Also, we set this here to object, and it really follows the object, but you can see it's also stretched here a bit. That's what happens if we choose generated. In this case, and this one is generated, for example, the fuck tour. Oh, actually, I wrote it wrong. I thought it's funny, but no, I have to correct it. Fuck tour. Here we go. Oh, it's better. So, I see. Now we have to increase the thing here. And let me just apply everything. Yeah. I don't know if it's stretched or if I just see it like it's being stretched. Yeah, it seems to be stretched. It's not a problem necessarily. So object. Maybe what if I set everything to object? Maybe then it will be better. Let's try this on. In theory, we can also set it to UV. Calculating. Now we have to, every time you do that, basically the sizes of, we have to adjust the size here. We have to go down a bit here too. Yeah, this is better. Ah, okay, in this case object is better. Okay, we'll see. So you'll see in theory this could be so this could be the water, you know, and I think I'm gonna do this with you together so you can see it a bit happening. When you hold down Shift and you drag, you get more control. You can be more detailed. I don't know how to describe that. You can slow it down, so you know you can. When you just go left and right, it's very fast. If you hold down Shift, it slows down. You have more accuracy. Let's increase that here, just to see what happens. Ah, interesting. Yeah, I like that. It's funny. This is funny. And then we can break the thing a bit. See? Huh? Is that not an easy way to actually make some paths? And the structure itself is not complicated. You can always. The question is, I do not know what happens when we try to bake that on it. I mean, how do I apply that system? I don't know if this is possible. But that's something not to solve today. In Blender, usually what I figure out is if there is an idea, at some point you can do it in some way. So we have here our little level already. Like so, huh? Because I said something about only use 3 because yeah. This is if we would use 3, but even if a small, when we are able to use that amount, and we could bake this. Okay, let's give it a try. Let's see what happens. What I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna duplicate Shift D, duplicate this guy, or duplicate. What is it? Do duplicate. You guys say da. Da 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 da. I'm gonna get rid of this. I'm not gonna explain this one. I'm just doing it. So this one has right now. I'm gonna apply everything. This is gonna be a low poly, and we're only gonna bake, if possible, the normals. Okay, so let's, and I have to remember how I did this without the add-on. Yeah, okay. I would say we're gonna unwrap everything. Smart view, UV, blah 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 to the bounds. That should be fine without even checking it. Shall we check that here? Let's open new UV editing. Always baffles me that this is always starting like that. It should start like that if this is a UV, I think, but okay. So this is maybe not for pros. Maybe they don't need to see things. I do not know. They just feel it. Okay, here we go. And what do I need this for? I don't understand that. I don't understand that. Let's turn this off too. I don't need a grid. Good. Yeah, it looks acceptable. Let's leave it like that. And we can already jump. For baking, we have to go to baking. Means basically we fake 3D it for better performance. We create an image which looks 3D, but it's not. This is what is being done in Doom 3. They started to do that. Quake 4 as well was a new technology. Okay, so this is the HD version. This is the low poly. Yeah, it's a SD. Here we go. HD to SD. Okay, save. Then I'm gonna grab the HD. I do not apply anything. I hope it just would work like that to SD. I forgot how I did this now. An easy way to, I remember that now. We're not gonna do that, so don't be intimidated by that. We go to texture paint, and now we go to the plus icon, because if we do it in this way, Blender will set up the figure we need already. It's a little bit easier. Oh, displacement we can also use. I've never done that. We're just gonna use bump or normal maybe. Let's use normal. If normal doesn't work, we're gonna try bump. So we have chosen that, go back to shading. So when I go to the SD version, everything's already set up to be baked on. So now we're gonna select the HD first, SD second. Then I click on this one. Then we go to adjusting those settings. 30 is okay. 300 is okay. Some people turn it on, some people turn it off. I have no clue what they are doing. Performance. Baking is, while it's cool, I really prefer an add-on. I want to have an add-on who does everything for me. Baking is horrible. I get it done over somehow, but it's baking. No, I don't like it. Especially the default baking is horrible. As good as Blender is, baking is no fun. It is fun. The result is fun, but the process of it is not fun. Baking normals. and I forgot how I did this. It's a while ago. In my Black Raven, the tires I baked really good. I was very proud of that. Anyway, normal looks good, right? GPU is important. Yeah, it's GPU. Okay, saving it. Let's bake it. And I don't know if this was a success already. Let me grab UV. I forgot something, right? SD normal, nothing is baked on it. Ah, this one here, yeah. Extrude one. Let's bake this again. I will right click, add to quick favorites. Now I can say bake. If appears something here, yeah, now something appeared, that's good. Let's now, what I usually do, people, you have to, I'm just showing it. I'm gonna click on the SD version, and this time I'm duplicating it, but so that it's the same thing. Completely the same, not just a duplication, but completely the same. It's Alt D. This is the same object. So when I, when I go into the edit mode and change here, see, it's the same thing. This, when you put this SD1 aside, we can leave the baking objects the same, and we can always see the changes we make. When we make a change in here, and I'll bake it again, well, I have to select, this is the annoying thing, I have to selecting secondly, no, select this first, select this second, select this first, secondly, then this one here, now, bam, bake. Let's bake this again. And we don't see a real difference. Let's just break it so that you see what's happening. Huh? Huh? What did I do? It's not correct. Oh, that's the baking. Okay. I wanna disregard that, so you will be confused for all the good reasons. So now I should change this one here. As soon as this is 100%. It'll not work. This is not the point. I want to show you that this one will change. See? It changed already. Okay, this is the advantage if you use the Alt, and then D. Then it's the same object. For baking, it's very helpful. Okay, let's go back to the normal again. Normal, bake. And now it has the normals. I'll go into this window here. And let's check this out a bit. Did it work as expected? No, I think with the Bakemaster I could achieve better versions. Do we have anything useful here? Just try this one here. Ah yeah, okay, it's not completely in. Maybe, okay, we are not there exactly where we wanted to be. I mean, there are reasons for that. We can think about this. I'm going to delete this for a second. So this is the low poly. This is the I was okay. Let's undo that. I was just upside down. Aha, here we go. Here we go. Okay, I see. Yeah, it's not perfect. You see, it's not baked perfectly, but this is also, it has to do with the baking itself. In theory, I think though, it's getting there. So, okay, let's do a little bit more, give it a little bit more information. Let's say we're gonna add some color information to it as well. So I'm gonna go to this menu again, then I click the plus, and this time I say basic color, add, and shading again. We have to do this in cycles. Baking only works in cycles. We go down to color diffuse, I think, what people usually use, but we could maybe use everything included the that we don't need. Let's see how this will result in the final version. This one we have to click now. This is important. Now it's gonna be, you have to select that. This is all the add-on really takes care of everything. You don't have to select those things. You're much faster. Even if you're good at this, the add-on will really, baking add-on is a great help. So I forgot something. I forgot to, you see, you have to select, and you have to select this, that, saving in between, because it could also, no active element. This one, there's one, this one. And baking. Bake. Let's check this out. Sometimes you have to switch. Bum, bum. So that's recalculating everything, and now it looks a little bit better. We're gonna have to adjust the sun maybe so we can see it. Again, it's not perfect. And also, why it's not perfect is the resolution we have chosen to bake the stuff on it. It's very low resolution, you know, and this is a huge object. So this is also not really helping the situation. But the idea, I think, should be clear. Right? Right? Am I right? Are you with me on that? What we also can try, let's not delete that. Let's just leave it like that. What I'm trying is now, so this is the SD version, right? This one we can just hide for now. This is the SD version. Let's use modifier. We're gonna use subdivision only for baking. So, and then we use what's it called again? Shrink wrap. And now we say HD version. That's basically, you can see that method what we just did. We gave it more material. It's like basically when you, what we do right now is with this method, with the shrink wrap and subdivision, this one SD, we lay that thing on top of the other thing, like you would have a blanket, and when you use a blanket and you put the blanket over the desk, it will cover everything, and you will still see the shape structure of the items on the desk. That's the principle, and this way the baking can be more accurate. That's how I understand things. Okay, let's just do this again and hide the other one and bake. This one here. Bake. We have to do the same thing with the normals. The normals are always okay, I messed this up. I'm gonna take this out because it's confusing. Let's do this again. Combined. Interesting. Why would I put the normals on it? I'm confused. Anyway, I did it the opposite. We can actually do that. Okay, let's plug this in here. Good. Color information is there, and somehow I do not know how I did this, but this is the, yeah, now this looks better. So this would be the low resolution, but let's just make sure, because this was weird. It was really weird. I go to the normal again, bake the normals again. This is hurtful. That's really hurtful. That's already it. Now it's baked better. Keep in mind, we have a low resolution, right? This is a huge object. So the resolution now, because this is now just a painting, does play a role. But in theory, I mean, what we have is a ZeroSim1 environment. Although I need to give ZeroSim1 credit. I mean, it looks better in ZeroSim1. I gotta tell you that. Yeah, but you know, the idea is clear. Oh, look at this weird stuff happening here. Yeah. Okay, so it is useful, I think. But I would really like to have. Well, it's difficult with this little object here. Okay. That's funny. Funny. Okay, I got you. We're gonna do that. We're gonna add another one, base color. This time we're gonna choose a 4K resolution. No, we're gonna use only for, not for the color itself. We start with the normal. Another thing a Bakemaster add-on can do, it can bake it as in a higher resolution, then scaling it down, resulting in even smoother transitions. So that's also a good thing. Okay, I'm gonna 4 times. I don't know if this is 4K or not. There is a 4, and it's a K number, right? So this, oh, it'll take a while. But I mean, what do I have why do I have a new GPU anyways? So okay, let's go over here, there. This one, no, this one first, this one secondly, and now this one here. Or no, this is the new. This is the high resolution. Let's try this one out now. Let's bake the normals. You will not see anything because it's gonna bake on that for a while. So I'm gonna check my phone. And then I try to call. You know what? Let me just tell you that while we wait for the bake. I think the sucks, like the health system, like it was in Germany before, was much better. Now when I was young, there was a phone call. You called the doctor and you made an appointment. Now you have phone, you have internet, you can email them. You're not gonna get hold of those guys. What's the point of the whole thing? It's not faster. It is just not faster. So the new bake is done, but it's not applied yet. It's so embarrassing, I think, you know, if I think about it, it's just so weird. Oh, we could also bake the displacement just only, but I don't know, I want to have it like the normal. So it's confusing, and now I'm gonna get rid of this one here. I'm just gonna replace the HD with the SD and see how this looks. And we have to ignore the color because the color is still the old one. And maybe make this smoother too. Keep in mind, this is a huge structure still. The result would be better if the structure, although we can, if I would subdivide that maybe. No, I want to keep it like that for now. Okay, let's do the same thing with the, I was actually impressed how fast this was. Okay, again, this is a RTX 5070, and it's the most expensive card I ever bought, and it's still cheaper than buying a new computer. So fuck you, Microsoft, for whatever you're doing. It's stupid. It's a stupid decision. They are, let me just tell you that as well, they gonna lose people anyways over time, because the new generation, look at them, they don't use Microsoft, they play games on their phone, and they're pissing off customers more and more. It's just a stupid decision. It makes me sad that they make stupid decisions. It's not necessary. They could still survive, but not with this attitude. Anyway, so using Linux Pop! OS right now. So yeah, let's go there. But I use both. I like Microsoft and the other one, Linux. I like both so far. I don't need Alpha or Alpha, because Microsoft is what I know. You know, that's the reason. This is gonna be the new. No. Which one is the new? Let's do this again. I got confused here. Normal, new basic, 4K color. Let's go back to this one. Ah, this is the 4K color. Okay, let's pick the color information. Combined. Again, combined has plus and minus. You know, it's something good about it, something bad about this. Basically, makes the shadows can result in better looking end results, but whatever. Big. Yeah, this is taking longer now, but it's still pretty fast for 4K. Yeah. So yeah, Microsoft. It's just, you know, they also yesterday I saw a video from a guy. It was a good video about a team. Yeah, I'm living in Europe, and they have adjusted to the European. Well, they make sure whatever they adjusted to European to the European, meaning it seems to be the case. I have to check this again. If I just watched one YouTube video from one YouTuber, so that you get one additional year of Microsoft of Windows 10 for free without the he said in the video, without the negative aspects. Just normal, just 1 year longer without you having to do anything. But not for the other for US and so, which yeah, it's again, it pisses people off, and it's weird. This is American is not you know. Who's making those decisions? I mean, I don't know. I live in Europe, but even they pissed me off so much with that. You kind of feel this is like, you cannot, if Microsoft behaves like an you cannot rely on what they are doing. You know, you lose trust into the company. That's not good. That's just not good. You know, you have to have trust in this company's decisions. I think this is like, I mean, it's their company. You can do whatever they want, but I think from a business perspective, it is a long-term dumb decision, because they have more competitions anyways. When Linux gets better with gaming, and it will. It's not there yet. Luckily for Windows, it's not there yet. It's better, but it's not easy. 100%. Anyway, I cannot summarize it very well, but I'm gonna talk about this again. So now I have to guess what's happening here. Either the Blender just crashed, or maybe it creates this huge texture, and when that's done, it has to save it. Maybe the saving process takes a while. No, it's done. Saving. Well, I thought it's not really safe. They have to check this one here and do the same thing. Check this one. Now it should be saved in the Blender file. Hopefully, maybe. Switching, and this is our SD version now. This is the low poly version. It's still, again, this is still an image. You have to understand that this is not the this is not how you would do this. For that reason, you know, it works from a distance as an environment, but it's not how you would create the whole world, and you would just, you know, use it as a one big picture. That's, yeah, it would look much better on a smaller scale, but I've chosen a different one because I didn't had any plan of what I'm gonna do. But you can see the idea behind that. The idea I mentioned before is usable. It shows it pretty much, I think. I hope, though, let's check the original before I praise myself too much. Where's the original? It's here. Let's get higher. Ah yeah, okay, I mean, this is only normal, so I cannot overdo it. Let me hide this one here. So this is the original. Looks better, obviously. It has also more peaks, but this is because it's displacement. Let's try, because although I don't know if this would, okay, I have to make sure that this method works, and so let's check this out. If this, because it could also be just a case that it just, although it actually has a 3D aspect here, you know. Yeah, this one here is fake 3D. So it's So it works. But I want to double prove it, meaning I want to make sure that... No, I don't have to. I thought I had bump here, but I don't have any bump, so that it definitely uses the yeah, it uses that. The reason why it's not looking the same is because this one is really geometry wise sticking out. It's not just, you know, a fake 3D, a bump or whatever. Also, you can replace this one here with bump, in theory, bump, like so. And it would still work if we have more shiny, so we still have like a 3D thing here. But the normals is okay. Although I wonder if I put this in normals into the displacement, how would it look like? Better actually, in Blender, at least. That's also interesting to see. Actually, we have both right now, right? Yeah. And then we could subdivide that. Not necessarily better. Yeah. Okay, that's funny. Let's undo that. Let's try to bake this one more time, and then that's it for this today's video. To bake displacement. I don't know. I've never baked displacement. Never ever. If this works actually. Let's see if we can add that displacement. Well, if some game engines use that, I hope. Displacement. Okay, so now we have to go to the cycle section, and then is here displacement. Diffuse environment, emit. No. Not really. I see. So we could use here normals again, I think. Oh, maybe positioning. I wouldn't know how to bake that. So I'm going with normals again, which does make sense because we already used that. But this time I'm gonna bake this into the displacement. Does this make sense? No, wouldn't make sense actually. I wouldn't know. Maybe normals, or no, maybe. See, maybe positioning, but I think position is also. Where is my new displacement? This guy here. Oh, let's bake it on there. Let's see what happens. Of course. I don't think positioning is the right thing. Whatever this is, no, position just means really the position. I think I can, yeah, the geometry maybe. Yeah. That's not really helpful. But at least was fast. Emit environment. Yeah, okay. Well, okay. Since we have already basically a normal version, let's use the displacement node. Not distance, displacement, displacement. Here we go. Make this bigger, this one here, this one over there, this one bye-bye. And let's see if this is necessary. No. Put this into scale. And actually we can now switch to the faster engine. I don't think this works like that. But let's not give up so fast. Let's subdivide that one. Wait, we have to check this one. Bump and displacement. Here we go. Okay, put this back into here. And there. Okay, well, it does work. And we can use this in here. And this in here. Oops, not like that, and so. And yeah, we have our final image. We're not using procedural generated stuff at least, you know. And I shouldn't have touched that one. I shouldn't have touched it. What happened? I just touched that thing and the other thing disappeared. How is this a thing now? What the heck? Hello? Now what? I'm not allowed to touch it? I don't know what I just did actually. I have no idea what that was. So this is the standalone thing. And we have this. Let's make it smooth. Smooth it is already. Subdivide it more and more. Yeah, now we can... Oh, this is an interesting method. But you say we got nothing in common. Yeah, that's the reason why I learned English. One of the major reasons. That I knew what I was singing in the. I always wanted to sing even more than the Blender shit. That's maybe my true nature. So mix. No. Mix color. Here we go. What am I doing right now? I don't know. Would that make sense? That I can maybe isolate? I think so. Let's try something out. Color ramp. I mean, there are. What I do is just testing things. Always looking for, if, when I have an idea, I want to check if this would work or color ramp. I want to isolate the white stuff and replace it. There's a way to just do it with a color ramp itself, but I just want to know if this would work like that. It should work actually, but it doesn't. Because yeah, that happens sometimes. Oh, this is crucial when this happens. You never know why. Yeah, it wouldn't make sense because if I isolate that, then what I wanted to do is basically at the this I should do before that. So what we can do, yeah, I like this method actually a lot. Yeah, I mean for the displacement, method here, it's crucial that we have geometry, but you can turn it on and off, right? So that's also good. Yeah, whatever you prefer. Okay, let's fix that quickly, just in case that's not what I would do. But right now I just wanna. Although again, it doesn't really make sense what I'm doing here right now, but whatever. Well, maybe like so. Maybe like so. Problem is it's too white. I should have. Okay, we could have filled in the. There is a way to actually make only the ground water. Okay, I'm not gonna bake this anymore because the baking. I just wanted to prove that this is doable, also to myself, because I was thinking I'm not sure if how Blender handles the shader displacement geometry method while baking. I wasn't sure about that. That it can handle geometry, I know that, but I wasn't certain that this method would work, but it does in this way. Very useful because you can create stuff quick and fast, and then baking it like that, it's benefit the performance if you like that. Okay, but I want to turn this off here for now. Let's focus only on the HD object here. Let's say I would like to add, I think this is an easy way actually. Yeah, we could just say this area here. No, this area here. Yeah, we fill this area here quickly, very quickly, because I'm gonna go then. Today's a shitty day anyways, like, you know, I have the appointment I wait for, have to reach them. Then I have to later on dentist appointment. So it's just, everything sucks today. Except Blender. So that's, bam, 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 bam. Here we go. There we go. You know what the worst thing is about the dentist to me? It's the money. It's the money. It's so expensive. Would that work? What I'm doing right now? No, I'm not thinking straight, like rightly. I think I'm gonna add the shader. Would be better. It's doable. It is doable. Now let's undo that quickly. I need bump. Let's make a quick water bump shader thing here. Hide this one here. This should not actually although I can simplify it. Yeah, actually what I can do, we leave this black for now. I'm just using that one. That's simple because there is no bump here anyway, so I can just really use that. And then I can use this one. Now this one here is the water bump effect, and it can be mixed with this guy later on. So it recalculates. No, this doesn't make sense. Or does it? No, it's fine. It's fine. I just have to increase that value here. And normal, it goes into the normal. This is the factor, right? Yeah. I check. Oh, that's also good. And we have a little bit of things going on, and I need to change the water. I think this one has to be more bluish right now. And I see. Yeah, then we have to later on. Okay, we have to take care of. Maybe at this point it might be easier to have a, instead of mixing color, mixing shaders for the professionals. You know what I mean? If for the beginners, well, this is I cannot cover that so briefly, anyways. But there is a way to do that in a different way. I think the easiest thing would be right now to use this one here too. Just for now, this is not the final result, because I make this thing now. So I want to make the water shiny only. So I'm using right now the positioning to just say at some position things have to be reflective and the other one not. So this is now has this disadvantage that only, you know, the mountain is not reflective anymore, and it takes away from of the realistics, I think. So that's a disadvantage, but for showing purposes, I just want to, you know, show, give you, yeah. So we have this one now, and let's go to the like so, maybe. Huh? Yeah, this is the normal. This is this one. Ah! Crucial mistake. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, this should work now. It's calculated again. And now we have to check which one is which here. Maybe. Huh? Ah. Although I'm not sure. Yeah, okay, this worked, I think. Oh, maybe not. I might be confused right now. Yeah. Oh, this is correct. Goes into here. I think so, at least. Let's check this one out here again. Just to make sure we're gonna duplicating this guy here. And I'm going to use this one here as a factor. I have a better control here. So let's check this again. Recalculates. I'm gonna decrease the resolution for better performance. I'm gonna go and see. Something is happening. That's good. If something is happening, I'm already in a good way. But this doesn't do anything. I must. No, I shouldn't have to do it in this way. Weird. Let's put this here back. I'm confused. I have to check. Yeah, let's do it like so. I mean, it looks cool, but it's not what I want. This is the problem. What do I do wrong right now? Let me try as first this one before I isolate that, because I'm really confused. So I don't know shit anymore. I just want to have a simple water shader. I'm not able to do this. I don't know why. Goes into the normal. Roughness. I don't understand what I'm doing wrong here. This one should be like that, right? Yeah. B-spine is no, here we go. Okay, it was just the B-spine is not good for bump effects in general, but there's still something wrong. I'm confused now about those things. Yeah. Okay. I had a mental incapability. I could tell that. If you have another bump, you can plug this into the bump into the normals. This is not a normal. Now I'm certain again. Got confused. Well, okay. Let's make it like this again. So now we can limit it. And now I have to determine which is which. I think it was before. Okay, like so. And then we have control. But I would still probably do not a mix color, but a mix shader at this point. So, okay, and now we have here a little bit of water. And let's go where we can actually stand in the water like so. So, and then you have to adjust your water, whatever you want. Calm water. Yeah, maybe like a very detailed one. And why did I change the reflect? For this one here. Okay, we can actually use here another method. This is very complicated. It's easy just if you are a new beginner and you just, you can do that. It's just not, I'm not presenting it very well, but it can be done. Everybody can do that. Do the first thing and then, yeah. But since I don't know what I'm doing exactly right now, I cannot really tell you what you should do. Like so. We can do here a mix. Would a mix make sense? Or maybe this guy here again as a factor. Yeah, let's try this one here again, and then I need this one here as well. Don't know if what I'm doing right now makes sense. I don't think it makes sense. I think what did I do right now? I have no idea what I just did. Let me plug this into the factor for the roughness. And then invert one. Yeah. Different shader instead of the thing would really help in this case. Okay, let's leave it at mix for now. Just to get some result here. Bam, 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 bam. Yeah, what am I doing here right now? This is maybe like so. Ah yeah, here we go. So this is one not reflecting, that's good. Yeah, this is actually more like it. It's still not perfect because in this way the you know, you can see it's the reflections are only the water is reflecting. How does this look when I turn on ray tracing? Ah, a bit better. Let's keep it off. So still not perfect. I would go again. I keep saying that because I think this is a better approach to use a different shader, and then you know there are mix color like this guy here and mix shader. They do the same thing basically in principle. They mix stuff together in the same way. You have A and B, shader A, shader B, and basically this one here is a shader. And this one is color and this one is shader. So you would plug in this guy over here, and then you would use the limitation over there to actually say, okay, the other one will be a, yeah, but I'm not gonna do this today. This result, while it's not perfect, it shows some interesting shit. And yeah, I think that's good enough. Let's make the sun. And you can see it's not really super reflective, right? But this has also to do with the strength here. It's too much. This one. This the water shader you can also just do with roughness only. That also works. Okay, no, let's leave it at that. As much as I want to show you this right now, but I don't know how fast I could do that. Or can I? Can I? You know what? Let's get rid of all the other things here. And what is that? Yeah, that's fine. This one here. This one here. This one there. Let's do this quickly. Bam. And then we need this one as a, this is our level limiter. This one is the new shader. Or let's just reduce a completely principal, new shader principal. Principal BF stim.rm, whatever. This one here, this one there. This is fine so far. And I can get rid of this one here, and let's see how this looks. Interesting. What is happening here? Positioning. Ah, maybe this is also good that this happens like this. I can fix the problem because it probably was like that before. I just didn't notice that. Why would that be the case? Is this the sun maybe? No, this is a weird thing. Why would that be the case? Hey. Yeah, this is confusing. Wait, maybe that's the reason. I don't think so, but what are you using here? Object, okay, there's object here. I don't think so though, something is off. Ah, yeah, makes sense. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, this is always like, yeah, now we can use that to limit here. What is up with the sun? Is this strong? Yeah, too strong. What did I do in here? Why is this no? Ah, there's always something, eh? There's always something. I see. Okay. In principle, no, we can do this actually in here. Yeah, now we have it. This would be the water. And let's make it water look like. Let's get rid of the, so this one looks great, you say? No, you didn't? Okay, you're right. Something is still not quite right here. What am I doing wrong here? I know I don't need that anymore. I don't need that. I mean, in theory, I can add something similar again to that whole thing. Then I could make different kinds of water levels, you know, darker and stuff like this and so on. Good. But I'm still baffled a bit. I see. Or baffled. It should be more shiny. Here we go. I think it's just too high. 40. Also, maybe the sun is not really set up well. When you use bump and stuff like this, you always need good lighting. Otherwise, you cannot really see it so well. See, in this setting here, it's better. You can see it much better. So the sun and shadow is responsible actually more for that. But this is actually the approach I would go with, the shader. If you want to check it out here in full, let's take a look at this again. You see, again, you can limit this with, try to show, let's crease this a bit. I can make it bigger for you. Like so maybe, huh? And you can just experiment with that. Yeah, always pay attention that you don't accidentally use alpha, that you don't plug in alpha instead of color, stuff like this. Factor is, while it plays a role, it doesn't matter if you sometimes use color or factor, you get some kind of result. As long as something is changing, then you're on the right track. You just have to tweak it a bit, you know. Okay, so far so good. I think this is a German way of expressing things. So far so good. Okay, this is how it looks in full. You can check it out, and I'm gonna jump back to this one. I try to improve the lighting. Let's turn on the ray tracing now a bit also. I want to see it in pretty. I mean, really pretty would be this one here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this is not too bad actually. Ooh, this is actually, you know what? Smooth. I didn't do this. The smooth thing is also super important. Water is important. Watercolor is not really fitting, but this is an alien world here. Doesn't have to be a great color here. See, it doesn't even affect that because now this is the actual color is here. Okay, like so. Make the sun stronger. Not too strong. Also, we don't really have a background. Let's fix that. Let's use one of my environmental textures. Yeah, my environment. I did this. I'm so good. They are not the best, but they serve the purpose. You know, I have like a folder. I go into my Blender projects, then I go into my how to do stuff, how to make stuff folder, and here I have my HDRI. They should be in a different folder, but I got so used to that now. I'm gonna use the best one. I made the best one so far, which is this one here. I'm gonna show you. See, it's not super impressive, right? But it works. And we have here an interesting landscape with some, you know, the method is really promising. You can see where you can get that with tweaking more and more and more, and then you have stuff like this. I think this is pretty cool. Well, you know, if you increase that a bit, let's put this to 6. We have even more, but now we have like a crystal planet. Let's go back to 3. It's more like this guy here, and now we can also here on this one change the displacement again. This is this guy here, adjusting it. Oh, this is also not too bad. And you can even mix then the color, the displacement. You can also mix and make this different levels of displacement. Again, there is no stopping except performance. At some point the performance will crash. Right, and here could be a little boat. Let's add a boat to that. A boat. Yeah, I'm happy it turned out so people can see I can do something, you know. I think people don't take me seriously, which is fine to a certain degree. But that's also good because you should have fun with it, you know. You should have fun with it. And there's so many things which do not look good, you know. It's that's what it is, the nature of things. When you create stuff, you have so much garbage, and not really garbage, but you have a bunch of stuff you don't actually, you think it's good, nobody else does. But it will help you. It will always help you. You can go back and use some of the garbage, which is not garbage, I shouldn't say that. But, you know, it's not competitive. It's not something you can impress people with, you know, but it will serve you for something. So here we go. Is this a boat? Right, make it smooth. Oh, it's fine. Maybe doesn't have to be a good structure. Maybe a bit. No, no, I liked it before. That's looking good enough. Let's use a bevel. Let's see how this bevel is better. That's good. Save it. Let's give it a simple material for now. Let's do checker texture. Here we go. And this one, bam. This one. I don't want to go to a dentist. It's just never changed, you know. My feeling is always the same. It's expensive. They always say, we gotta do that and this, you know. They don't tell you how much it costs, right? It's just like, no, we gotta do that, you know. It's, how much does it cost? Well, no, you know. And then, you know, they give you a number, which is always understated, and everybody knows that. Whatever. Mapping. We need the texture coordinate. Texture column and what am I doing? The texture coordinate. Here we go. Bam. Okay, now we can stretch that a bit. And maybe use, I don't know, this one here. Maybe a brick would be better, but I can actually, this one is a different color. I already have textures. I wanted to do this together. I have plenty of textures. Some of them getting better. Lots of them are just, you know, like a mess. Let's use a brick. I thought I could, you know, do this quickly, but I think brick might be better. Brick texture here. Although the other textures actually may be better. Why would that be the case? Let's use the. This is my favorite texture so far. I really like this one. Gonna use distance here. Oh, this looks already better. I couldn't use it like that already. And then bump. Let's give it also some 3D stuff. Color ramp. Here we go. Sometimes this is also helpful. And this one. Not today, helpful. I'm gonna use smooth. A little bit random. This is a combination of happy accident and almost knowing what I'm doing, just in case you wonder. So yeah, this is too shiny. Okay, now we have a boat. It's not perfect, I know. I have better, I mean, you know, but shouldn't be too perfect. see. Invert. Here we go. Yeah, so slowly but surely you get what you want, right? And then it has to be maybe a noise texture for a little bit of mixed color. And then we're gonna use this guy here, and we say this is gonna be noise. Here we go, here we go, here we go, and then this one we're gonna use add this time. This adds something, it should not replace the other one. Make this like so. Now we have some, I don't know. Okay. What is that? Oh yeah, this is the shiniest. And then what you need to do is limit the from down to above, but I think it's still not really, I'm not getting what I want exactly. So I would plug this in, and this is what I meant before. You can do that. And now we have, have it like that. And, oh, the board is sinking. Let's squeeze it like a bit. Here we go. We don't have a camera. I always want to jump into a camera. We don't have a camera. Now we have a camera. So I like the. Where's my boat? Where's my boat? Here's my boat. I like the scene where I was. Yeah, this is a good scene. So the camera also, you have to adjust this. This is the FOV of your camera, and I like to limit this, so I only see what the camera is seeing. Up. Here we go. And let's. Yeah, we have a little scene. Let's make this big. I'm not rendering it for you, I'm just leaving it like that. This is the final image we have, so it's not too bad. I think I like the water now. It actually turned out better than I expected when I started. I didn't meant to do that, obviously, right? But again, the important thing is really just the first, I don't know, 20 minutes or whatever. Because with this method you can see the potential, right? So that's pretty cool. Okie dokie. Well, I'm happy. So this is the best part of the whole day. Well, maybe some, you know. Okay, wish me luck with the dentist. I wish you something. Have a nice day. Bye bye. Oh wait, let's make this a thumbnail already, so that I don't have to do this. This is the worst part of for Project Lara. I don't want to do thumbnails, and it's so annoying. So let's do this together quickly. Import image. Where is my image? Well, where's my thing actually here? Yeah. Import mesh at mesh plane. Yeah. And then I'm gonna choose. Where is my guy? Textures, projects, textures, Blender, textures. Gotta copy textures. Where's the? Come on, man. I cannot navigate in my own folders. Because I'm too deep in. I know. Crap. Blender textures. Here we go. Here we go. Here it is. The guy, the most important guy in the world. Yeah. that's good. A little bit too dark, maybe. I have to maybe give him a little light source here also. Why not? Come on, let's do that. Let's fake it. A point. This guy is not alpha we need in this case. Less shiny. The light might be too strong. Let's change the sun a bit. Let's give it more. Would it be better here? Help me! No, in the boat. Poor guy. This guy, there's an animation here where this one is actually falling out of a toilet. One of my when I start out, this is what I mean by it's in. One could say it as garbage, you know. It doesn't look good. People give you the thumbs down for it because they're idiots, you know. They don't get it. You know, it's the internet. I'm not complaining that people are doing it. I personally, if you ask me, I only do it when it's harmful, or when I have a bad day. I gotta have a bad day. Maybe there's a chance. Usually don't, but that's what people do. So that's fine. But the thing is, without that, you cannot improve. You have to have garbage. You have to have some, you know, things which are not great, but you can see already the potential in it. You know, that's the most important thing. So. Let's add another color to it. I think the problem is it's too shiny maybe. Let's undo that. I think the problem is just that the mountain is too shiny. Yeah, this is the leftover. We don't need it actually anymore. No, I think that's good. Let's change the outside world a bit. An easy way to improve the intensity is just using more gamma. So like so, and then make it stronger, like so. Looks better. You can also use like a volume scatter, volume absorption. This helps also. And we can right now not texture coordinate. Texture coordinate into here, generate to here, and then we use map. Map range. Come on, mapping. Well, here we go, and I can now. Although I should do this in Eve, that's faster. I can position it better. Eve doesn't look so good anymore, huh? But again, this is not again. This is just it's okay. This is like not like so, and then I can choose what I want to see maybe. just see like so, not too much. Okay, let's jump back. Also for Eve, you can set it up to a certain point. You have to use more tricks and stuff, but you can make it pretty. So, but now we have this guy here. He's in the boat. What else do we do? Yeah, there's another alternate we can use. Mesh, cube, make this guy big, and then drop the cube here. New, and then volumetric scatter is one part. And then volumetric absorption is this guy here. And then we can plug this one here into volume. This one we don't need. This would just be the volume. It's too high, I think. Yeah, just simply too high. See? Now it's absorbed a little bit of, but you really need a low number, and with that I can, with my phone, always check my phone. So, okay, nothing so far. Let's increase the number here a bit. I see, this would be the volumetric absorption. You can add to this like a noise one, and you have like noise, a little bit of noise in here. Color ramp again. Although I can use that thing too here. Oh no, we need a shader for that, yeah. Would work with the shader combination. Noise, color ramp here, this one. Over there, I really gotta copy, man. I gotta copy. So here we go, and density more so we can see the impact. See, this is basically now. Let's replace this with this guy here. This is now volumetric absorption. This gives like a little bit of simple. You see. Something like that. But we can now see the other thing. Well, it's not really needed. I think this one is good enough. Something like that. It's gonna be look like something like that. I gotta go pee now. So this is the end of the video. I'm gonna just show this in full. Here you can see. This is the method you can go to. Again, if you keep more working on with a structure from the beginning, you can achieve better results than that. It's not the best thing, but it's good enough. Okay, I'm going. Bye bye.